juggling, circus feast or play. I'm just a juggler, I'm trying to keep on in the air, trying to keep on in the air. Trying to keep on up. And you may have seen me, I'm everywhere. I am just a juggler, trying to keep on in the air, trying to keep on in the air. Trying to keep on up. Everyone smiles as they pass by, from whispering peasants to passers-by. Some exchange looks and some just money, there for a moment and gone in a wink of an eye. Act, hope against hope, 1 and then 2 and then 3 in the air, waiting for one to come crashing earthbound. Long as they're flying, nobody cares. Step on up now. Step on up, step on up now. Step on up and watch them fly. Circus feast or play. I am just a juggler, just trying to keep them in the air, trying to keep them in the air now. Trying to keep them up. See me, I'm everywhere. I'm just a juggler, trying to keep on in the air, trying to keep on in the air. Trying to keep on up.
So it may or may not come as a surprise to you that I found myself this week questioning and overthinking existence. And, you know, sometimes that does overwhelm the nervous system, and just a little. And so I often find myself, you know, going to my breath first, right? So anchoring myself in that way. But sometimes I need, or feel like I need, a little something extra to kind of bring me back to that place of centeredness and peace. And so I found myself with a stack of books, and I took those books and I just spread them out on the table, and I closed my eyes and I picked one and I opened it to a page, just like that. And here is what it said. So this is from Conversations with God by Neil Donald Walsh, and it's book 4. In case you didn't know there was a book 4, there is a book 4. And so he's having this conversation with God about how he, you know, wants to be loving enough of the earth, loving enough of himself, loving enough of other people, and the impatience that comes with that, because now he's in his 70s and like he still feels like he hasn't gotten this right yet, and when is it coming, and when am I going to get it? And according to him, this is God's response. You're being very hard on yourself. Many who know you would say you're a very loving person, and so is everyone who has been drawn to this conversation or has found themselves following this dialogue by chance. It is true indeed of everyone on the earth. You are, all of you, my wonderful children, growing and becoming more and more of your true divine self every day. It is as I told you in our very first conversation. You are goodness and mercy and compassion and understanding. You are peace and joy and light. You are forgiveness and patience, strength and courage, a helper in the time of need, a comforter in time of sorrow, a healer in time of injury, a teacher in time of confusion. You are the deepest wisdom and the highest truth, the greatest peace and the grandest love. You are these things. And in moments of your life, you have known yourself as these things. Choose now to know yourself as these things always. And we'll take that into a time of prayer. Holy Heart of the universe, may we enter this time and space with an open heart and an open mind. May we come into the moment of awareness of our true selves, of our true divine nature. And as we fall asleep to this, may we welcome the opportunities to reawaken to that nature over and over again, not only for ourselves, but for the benefit of all beings. And so it is.
Downstairs to the street I go. Time feels stopped and I'm moving slow. In the distance a bell is ringing like a lullaby, you know. Out to where the rainbow ends, there's a place where the light just bends, and you can almost see right back to where you've been. Thinking about what came before. The past is gone, besides that ain't just trying to figure out where it all began. I'm just walking out to where the rainbow ends. I'm just walking out to where the rainbow ends. Watching everybody as they walk on by, like they're much too busy or way too late to even try. Well, they say if it isn't for the money and it ain't for the show, and there isn't any reason that would ever know, well, maybe we should all just mind our own without asking why. Walking out to where the rainbow ends. Just walking out to where the rainbow ends.
Got a jar card. So under name optional, they wrote optional. And if it's you, see, you gotta laugh. So that's what we're doing. And then it says see over. It says it all. So they didn't even answer these questions. You know, they went in the back and did their own thing. Anybody ever do that? Yeah. Don't color between the lines. It's like, nah. Yeah. So this person said, well, they came prepared too, because look, it's typed out. No. Thank you. I don't have to try to read your handwriting. The third verse of a wishing song I sometimes call Baby Bear, slightly altered. And this is the quote from that song that's slightly altered. I wish I could see Jesus shining in the sky and he could let me know that everything would be all right. I wish I knew God's love was all I'd ever know. And then I'd call it Mardi Gras and let the good times roll. Hey, right there, I can't can't make this stuff up right here. I don't make this stuff up right here. So that's really good. You know, I often share with you about all the good work you're doing by the generosity that you display here. And today I get an opportunity to show you that our tithe for the month of February is going to Theater for All. And Theater for All Executive Director, Artist Extraordinaire Kim Henry is here. So come on up here, because you know, Kim is also just recently, the cat is out of the bag, according to Facebook.
Yeah, my Facebook.
Kim is going to receive the Layla Thompson Lifetime Achievement Award for enduring contribution to Wilmington Theater. March 20th at Talion Hall, she'll be receiving that award. You deserve that award. I hope you feel that from the folks that have gained so much confidence from you. Your tribe that you have there. I've seen it at Theater for All. They are in awe of you as much as you are in awe of them, or maybe even more. So I hope that you've been doing some fundraising, and I texted Kim and I said, did you meet that fundraising goal? And she said no, and I said, well, I got a little something for you from Spiritual Soul Center. Yeah. I mean, that's the kind of work that we can do together. You know, that's the kind of work that's the good news. This week, this week I have been in pain. I have been, nobody else has been in pain, right? I've been in physical pain. You know, something happened last Saturday, and I got this wrenching thing that happened right here on my body, and it was unexpected. Right? Have you ever had a pain that's unexpected? Yes, I'm sure you had. You know, it was unexpected, and at first it caught me off guard, and then I thought, well, I think it's probably not much. You know, it'll be good. You know, I've been working out with a trainer, and it'll be all right. And Sunday came last Sunday. I was here. I didn't feel too bad. In fact, I lifted one of the twins right up there onto the stage, and you know, I felt pretty good. And on Monday, I started feeling not so good, and by Tuesday, I was feeling really bad. I mean, I was feeling really in pain, and so it was not fun, but I decided to do some things. Like some of these teachings that I teach, I actually follow. And a couple weeks ago, I talked about creating a sanctuary for pain, right? To create a sanctuary for it, to create a space in which you have the experience of that without judgment. And I was able to do that pretty well. Like I canceled my appointment with my trainer. I was like, I'm not going to be lifting weights this week. This is not the right decision for me. I have this pain. Like, why would I do that? I used a heating pad. I did some arnica gel on it. I took some arnica tablets. I even did some ibuprofen, which I don't do a lot of drugs, but I did some ibuprofen. It made me tired, so I was tired during the week. But I felt pretty good about being able to create a sanctuary for that pain and not go on and on as if nothing happened. Like, why would I do that? We have a tendency to do that. We have a tendency to, well, let me just ignore this pain. I can get through it. I'll just push my way through it. No, I was so proud of myself for creating a sanctuary for it for a while. And it was in a word painful. All right. I even had an appointment with Dr. Zachariah, who I've been seeing for a lot of years, and she does energy work, and she helped me with that pain as well. And she reminded me that pain is for protection. In other words, that pain, you're feeling that pain because you're not supposed to be moving that way. You know, when I move this way, it hurts. When I move this way, it doesn't hurt. Well, why move that way? You know, it's protecting me. It's allowing me to heal in the meantime. All right? That's what it's about. That's what it's about. So that's what was going on for me this week. So I reached for this book that is at my chair, which is Pema Chodron's book, When Things Fall Apart, because in the times when I wasn't zen with all my pain. I felt like I was falling apart. I felt like asking that question to myself, like, well, but I wanted to work out this week. And this is the week before my birthday, and I just wanted to feel really good. And, and then I'm like, but let's create the sanctuary for the pain, Paula. So this was the book that was beside her, like, yeah, there's something in here for me. There's something in here for me. Because, when things fall apart, whether it's physical pain, emotional pain, psychological pain, whatever the pain is, doesn't it make you feel isolated? Don't you feel like alone? Like you must be the only one that's feeling this. Like everybody else is out living their life, doing the thing they did last week, and you're not. Yeah? It can feel that way, right? And that's what it is. When things fall apart, that's what happens. Maybe we even feel like we have no value anymore because we can't do what we did before. We might be in such pain that we feel like we're a burden to somebody. Somebody has to take care of us, right, Pam? It's like, well, I'm a burden, it's pain. I'm a burden to somebody. And I feel really isolated and disconnected. When things fall apart, that's what happens. Or maybe even I'm experiencing this pain as a punishment for something I did wrong. Oh my gosh. The worst, right? The worst thing. Somehow it's for a punishment. But here's the thing, and I've said this before when I talked about pain a couple weeks ago, kind of about pain, is that pain is universal. Like we all experience pain. It is the one thing that we can all, I'm guessing, that we can all raise our hands and say, yes, I've had pain in my life. Yeah? Anybody not have any pain in their life yet? Yeah, okay. Okay. Like it's universal, and nobody gets a pass. No one gets to go around the corner and say, well, that's not in my life experience. I don't have to do that. Nobody gets that. Nobody gets to do that. Ever. We all have that in common. No one escapes it. So the question I was asking myself then, if nobody escapes it, and I have it, and I've created the sanctuary, well, what else do you do with pain? Like, what else do you do with it? I mean, it was great to create a sanctuary for it and have the experience. I'm like, is this it? Is that it? Is that all I can do with pain? It seems like there might be something else that's possible to do with pain. So, because there's all sorts of pain, like I said, like what do you do with grief? What do you do with physical pain? What do you do with hurt, disappointment, tragedy, war, starvation, injustice, hatred, judgment, violence, addiction, cancer, death? I mean, what in the world do you do with pain? Like, that's what I want to know. I had the book right beside my chair, and I opened up to this chapter. This is where my bookmark was, in this chapter. This is the way this starts off. The father of a 2-year-old talks about turning on the television and unexpectedly seeing the bombing of the federal building in Oklahoma City. This book was written back in the mid-90s, I think. Mid to late 90s. He watched as the firemen carried the limp and bloody bodies of toddlers from the ruins of the daycare center on the building's first floor. He says that in the past he was able to distance himself from other people's suffering, but since he's become a father, things have changed. He feels as if each of those children were his child. He feels the grief of all parents as his own grief. Pema says, this kinship with the suffering of others, this inability to continue to regard it from afar, is the discovery of our own soft spot, the discovery of the bodhicitta. Where's Megan?
I'm right here.
Can you bring my board up, please?
I can.
Bodhicitta. I forgot to do this before. You saw me sneaking in here. This soft spot that we have in us, the awaken. Thank you, darling. Let's pull these legs out. Yeah, because I can't move that way. All right, thank you. I just want you to see this word. It's a Sanskrit word, right? Bodhicitta. Bodhicitta. The Sanskrit word. All right? It means noble or awakened heart. That this pain that we have the inability to keep from afar for too long, as this example of this man seeing the children, this ability, the inability we have to do that, and the kinship that we feel with other people, is our ability then to awaken this soft spot in us called the bodhicitta. The bodhicitta. We awaken this bodhicitta, this tenderness for life. That's what it is, tenderness for life. That's a great one as well. Tenderness for life. Like we have this. We have this soft spot in us, this tenderness for life. When we awaken the bodhicitta, this tenderness for life, when we can no longer shield ourselves from the vulnerability of our condition, from the basic fragility of our existence. That's what this is. When we don't close, and when we let our hearts break. When we let our hearts break, then we can find our kinship with other beings, instead of having that separation. Are you feeling that? It's like, that is what it is. That's what we do with the pain. That's what I've understood this week. Like, what do I do with my pain? I use it to awaken my heart. I use it to awaken my heart to recognize the connection I have with every other living being. That's big work, from a fairly, small thing. I mean, I wasn't in a car accident. I didn't get, hammered or shot or in the hospital. But from this thing, I'm thinking, I can awaken my heart? I can do that. You take it in, the pain. You let the pain of the world touch your heart, and you turn it into compassion. I mean, that's the process. Pain into compassion. So what do you do with pain? I'm getting clearer. I'm getting clearer about that. When we see a woman and her child begging on the street, when we see a man mercilessly beating his terrified dog, when we see a teenager who has been badly beaten or see fear in the eyes of a child, do we turn away because we can't bear it? Most of us probably do, if we're honest. Someone needs to encourage us not to brush aside what we feel and not to be ashamed of the love and the grief it arouses in us, to not be afraid of the pain. Someone needs to encourage us that this soft spot in us could be awakened, and that to do this would change our life. Instead of to look away, to allow it to awaken our heart. There's a practice in the Buddhist tradition to help us do that, to awaken our heart. I mean, I think this is the gift of my pain this week. This is the gift of having had this experience. This is the gift of having this book beside my bed. This is the gift of me being willing to go here, is to realize that I can awaken my heart. And there's a practice in the Buddhist tradition called Tonglen. Anybody know this practice? Yeah. Rachel does. The practice of Tonglen. That's the name of the practice. It's the practice of sending and receiving, and is designed to awaken the bodhicitta, the tenderness that already exists in me, to awaken that tenderness, to put us in touch with the noble heart. It is the practice of taking in pain and sending out pleasure. And therefore, it completely turns around our well-established habit of doing just the opposite. Haven't we been taught that? Well, why would I want to breathe in pain? I want to breathe in strength, and I want to breathe out everything that's not that. I want to breathe in confidence. I want to breathe out doubt. But this turns it on its head. Because I've come to understand it's not just about me. My pain is just not about me. Like, to breathe that in and to get rid of my stuff, then what about everybody else? What about the connection and this bodhicitta, this tenderness for life that resides in me? It just ignores that. It ignores that. Breathing in pain and breathing out relief. Not just for me, but for everyone who is experiencing pain. That was my chair work this week, to breathe in the pain, to have created that sanctuary for healing, and to know that I was breathing in the pain of so many others who are in pain now. And to breathe out healing and ease and calm and perfect love. To breathe it in and then to breathe it out. Here's an example she gives in the book. Many people who are dying of AIDS have begun to do Tonglen. They breathe in for all others in the same boat, and they breathe in the suffering of millions of men and women and children who have AIDS, and then they breathe out wellness and kindness. As one man said, "It doesn't hurt me, it makes me feel that my pain is not in vain, that I am not alone and useless, and it makes all of this worthwhile." To breathe in pain and to breathe out wellness for me and to every other being as well. Pema says this: when we breathe in pain, somehow it penetrates that armor. It penetrates that armor that says, I don't want to see, I can't look, I don't want to see it, I don't want to see it, it hurts too much for me to see it. Like she's saying, we've got to encourage each other to go ahead and look and feel what it feels like to feel the tenderness of life that we have in us. We've got to do that if we want to awaken our own heart. When we breathe in pain, somehow it penetrates that armor. The way we guard ourselves starts to get softened up a little bit. This heavy, rusty, creaking armor begins to seem not so monolithic after all. And with the in-breath, the armor begins to fall apart, and we find we can breathe deeply and relax, and a kindness and a tenderness begins to emerge. Some of you have been trying it already. Can you feel the difference? We don't have to, says this, we don't have to tense up as if our whole life were being spent in the dentist chair. Yeah. Most of us, I don't mind the dentist. Renee, no. To live our life tense like that, that's the other gift of this. Like, I don't have to be tense. I think with the pain that I have been experiencing this week, that it's really benefited by me not being tense about it. By me not being mad at myself for making a decision about it. For me not being mad at how it happened. For me not being frustrated that I can't do what I wanted to do. Like, that would be holding that. That would help me hold that, but to release that. When we breathe out relief and spaciousness, we are also encouraging our own armor to dissolve. It's a metaphor for opening ourselves totally up. Yeah. When something is precious, instead of holding it tightly, we can open our hands and share it. We can give it all away. We can share the wealth of this unfathomable human experience. That's what this is about. And we change. We change in that. I change in that. You change in that. The awakened heart can always be discovered like that because it does not take any gearing up or struggle to achieve. It simply awakens the tenderness that is already there. The one we've put armor around, the one we've resisted. And I guess, unless you don't want an awakened heart, if that's important to you, this is something to think about. This is a way. She writes this: spiritual awakening is frequently described as a journey to the top of the mountain. You may have even heard me say that here. Jesus certainly talked about it. We leave our attachments and our worldliness behind and slowly make our way to the top. And at the peak, we have transcended all pain. The only problem with this metaphor is that we leave everybody else behind. Our drunken brother, our schizophrenic sister, our tormented animals and friends, their suffering continues unrelieved by our own personal escape. Bazinga! Like not about me and my pain, but about us and our evolution. In the process of discovering this tenderness for life, this bodhicitta, the journey goes down, not up. The journey goes down. It's as if the mountain is pointed to the center of the earth instead of the other way, toward the sky. And instead of transcending the suffering of all creatures, we move toward the turbulence and doubt. We move toward the suffering and pain. We don't turn ourselves away for it. We commit to feeling what it feels like to be devastated because of that pain, creating a sanctuary for that, for my pain and that pain. We don't push it away. She says, if it takes years, if it takes a lifetime, we let it be as it is. At our own pace, without speed or aggression, we move down and down and down. And with us, we move millions of others. See, that's the joy of not going up the mountain and going down, is we move with us millions of others. Our companions in awakening from fear. And at the bottom, we discover water. We discover the healing water of the bodhicitta. Right down there, in the thick of things, we discover the love that will not die. That's where it is. That's where it is. At a point in my life, I might have thought, well, that just doesn't seem right. How can that work? And now I say to myself, because you haven't tried it. Because you've resisted trying it. Because you're so caught up in your own pain. You haven't created your own sanctuary for pain. You haven't tried it. Meaningfully tried it. Meaningfully done the Tonglen of breathing in and breathing out. And if we haven't tried it, how do we know it doesn't work? Not just once, like all the time. With all of our pain. No matter how small it seems to be. No matter how small it seems to be. I mean, this is what we do with pain. We awaken our heart. All of it. All of it. So that's what I'd like to guide you a little bit during meditation today. And let's just do that breathing. To get comfortable in your seat. Some of you have been doing it already. I can see you closing your eyes. Taking a breath in. This is what we can do with pain. And I want you to picture it, to feel it, to imagine it. Breathing in the pain that you're experiencing right now. Maybe it's not the time in your life or the week or the day that you have pain right now. Well, what about the pain of children? The pain in Gaza, Israel. The pain of those suffering in hospitals. Breathe in that pain and breathe out relief. Breathe in that pain and breathe out relief. Breathe in the hurt. Breathe in the hurt. And breathe out soothing ease. Breathe in the hurt. And breathe out ease. Breathe in pain and breathe out wellness and kindness. Breathe in pain and breathe out wellness and kindness. Breathe in desperation. Breathe it in and breathe out calm. Breathe in desperation and breathe out calm. Breathe in suffering and breathe out peace and ease. Take in suffering, take it in, breathe it in, and breathe out peace and ease. Breathe in pain and breathe out tenderness. Breathe in pain and breathe out tenderness. Breathe in injustice and breathe out peace. Breathe in injustice. Breathe it in. Take it in to that soft spot in you and breathe out peace. Breathe in your own pain. The same pain that's connected to so many other people. Breathe it in and breathe out relief. Allow this practice to soften the armor. Allow it to awaken the tender spot in you. Allow yourself to feel the connection, the oneness that sometimes we talk about. This is how we know it. For this practice, for this possibility, for this time together, I say for all of us that we are grateful and amen.
Such a beautiful blur. Kind of days where I don't worry about anything at all. Where I refuse to read directions I've been given. I refuse to follow any signs at all. Let the chips fall where they are most willing. And I won't answer no one's call. If I told you I heard words that were unspoken each and every time I dream. If I told you I could sum all this up with 3 chords and a song, sing it for you right here and right now, would you join me in the chorus? We can sing it all night long. It's an infinite refrain, it's got no final bound. And it goes like this. Imagine yourself in the right here and now, and that's exactly where you'll be. If you're thinking it's too easy, you're thinking way too hard, you gotta let it be. And imagine yourself be a sailor or a pirate, and you find me lost at sea. 'Cause as for sails and ships, you know, I haven't got a clue. These 6 strings, they're all my 7 seas. The only ship a pirate like me is ever gonna need. And this journey started back when I was young. It may never end, not while there's still one more song to be sung. And it goes like this. Imagine yourself in the right here and now. That's exactly where you'll be, exactly. If you're thinking it's too easy, you're thinking way too hard, you just gotta let it be. Let it be. Imagine yourself in the right here and now. It's exactly where you'll be. If you're thinking it's too easy, you're thinking way too hard, you gotta let it be. And imagine yourself, imagine yourself, imagine yourself.
May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be happy. May all beings be filled with loving kindness. May all be well. May all be peaceful and at ease. May all be happy. Amen. Till next time.